Hello, everybody. Well, it's Friday the 13th, and I really didn't think I would be doing another reading, but I was called to do this tonight and to talk about something because I feel very strongly that there are some questions and emotions in the larger consciousness of our country right now. And so as you look at these words, these are all cards that I intentionally pulled. These did not just come out of the deck. I intentionally pulled these cards to talk about some of these concepts. And I'm not really, let me be clear, I'm not going to talk about each one of these as a concept. I just want people to look at this because this is the essence of what I was thinking about today and feeling like there was some questions in the larger consciousness about these things. And there was a song, again, that kept coming to me, and it's a song that I might not usually listen to. I have a particular style of music that I really like, and this maybe isn't one that I would normally listen to, but I like it. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, but it was MJ's, the letters MJ's, tell them that it's human nature. Human nature. And one of the lines in that song, again, over and over, it says, why? Why? And I will spare you my singing voice. But many of you would recognize this song, Human Nature by MJ. Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Why do they do me this way? There's also a song by Annie Lennox, Why? So I was getting the question today in the larger consciousness. I'm going to set these to the side for a moment. About why and the problem of evil. The problem of evil is a philosophical problem. It's a problem within the study of religion, particularly Western-based Christianity. I believe C.S. Lewis wrote a pretty powerful book on the problem of evil. And I wanted to address this today. And let me tell you that I certainly don't have an answer for this. As I've mentioned, I am but a humble intuitive. I am just a person like everybody else. So certainly I haven't discovered why and the problem of evil. But I did want to address that this and perhaps this and perhaps this stem back to problems within the human psyche. And of course these are spiritual problems, but I wanted to mention that in our brains we have 3 layers essentially in the human brain. And one of the base layers is called the reptilian part of the brain. And it's the most primitive and primal part of our brain. And then over that, there's a limbic system. And over that, there's higher thought. There's the parts of the brain that are responsible for higher thought. So even though I'm not particularly familiar with Christianity, I did grow up in American culture. So of course I grew up in a Judeo-Christian society, so I'm familiar with it to that extent. But it doesn't surprise me that we refer to these types of people as snakes, or that there was a snake in the garden with Adam and Eve, because it goes back to that primal reptilian part of the brain. So I don't have an answer for you. I can't tell you why. I don't really believe that it is human nature. I believe that it is a reptilian nature. I believe that it is a brain that has injury or damage, and the souls that incarnate into those lives, I can't begin to imagine all the reasons. So anyway, I don't know how much more I have to share on this. I just felt the cry of the consciousness, of human consciousness. Why do these things take place? And unfortunately, it comes down to the problem of evil. And I think because I don't want to get into theology, I'm not going to discuss the problem of evil too much. You can look it up, and you can also look up the layers of the brain. But what I will say is that there's something about the Nancy Guthrie case that is helping us with this. It is helping us with this. It is also helping us with this. And possibly that. In my belief system, I believe the land by the border, especially in Arizona, maybe New Mexico, I believe that land is tired of human pain and human suffering. I believe the land there is very spiritual. In fact, if I lived in that area and I were to go missing, I would really hope that people would call on First Nations individuals, visit tribal council, have people from the tribes that are more tuned in. I don't want to paint with a broad brush. More tuned into the history of that land, and who know that land perhaps more than any of us. Because according to First Nations people, they have been here from the beginning. And according to Western science and our measurements of time and space and all of that. They have been here for a pretty long time. So I would want seers from that area. I would want trackers from that area. I would want to be using animal signs, like perhaps birds circling. So at any rate, I just thought I would share that. I feel you. I hear you. Why? Why? So, okay, I think I'm going to close it there. I just didn't want this to be a really long reading tonight. I have some, I used black cats. It's Friday the 13th, which really isn't an evil thing. It's not about evil. It's not about darkness. It's the darkness and the light. I think sometimes we get so afraid of, fear. Maybe I could have put fear in this stack. We get afraid of things like this, right? And maybe for good reason. But, I guess I have a little different take on the day. To me, it's a day of maybe a little more power and magic in that it focuses on the female aspects. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share tonight, and I hope wherever you are that your heart can feel a sense of calm this evening, that you feel a sense of calm. And this is my Baroque Bohemian Cats Tarot. I chose the High Priestess and the Star tonight for this message. These are cards I chose. I didn't pull. None of the cards are pulled tonight. I want to be clear about that. I hand chose all these and hand picked them out. All right, many blessings this evening on you and your loved ones. And just one last reminder that words have power. So all you have to do is tell your pet or an animal that you love them. Just say, I love you. You are beautiful. And see how they react. I've had these little betta fish. I've had betta fish in my life probably for the last 25 years because I love betta fish. And I will tell them that I love them, and you should see how they react. You should see how that affects them. So if you have a pet tonight, or if you see an animal out in nature, just say, I love you. I appreciate you. You are beautiful. And see how they react. Because love and words hold vibration. And don't forget to say kind and good things to yourself as well. Okay? All right. Many blessings. And Valentine's Day is tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to take a break. I think I've tried to take a break this evening, but felt called. So, all righty. Bye.